Hello, all. Welcome to Hockey Tap Podcast, episode 199D again. I'm pretty sure it's E, but we'll leave it at D.
Whatever.
Stanley Cup preview picks. We are waiting on episode 200 to get the full gang together, but we just cannot seem to get that going. Anyways, I'm your host, Bill Dean. I'm, of course, here with Schwim, my co-host.
Hello.
We're brought to you by Primetime Radio, courtesy of Mr. Sam Wu. I am behind the glass today. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you'd be ever so kind. Schwim, what horrible beer have you pulled out of the fridge today?
I found something in the back of the fridge. It is, I have no idea how to pronounce this, so I'm not going to even try. It starts with an M, but it's by Nightmare.
Oh.
It's a triple IPA. It is triple IPA brewed with Moshio salt, triple dry hopped with Pacific Sunrise, Talus, and HBC 630 hops. 11.5%. Yay.
Very nice.
Yay.
I like it. All right.
Cheers.
So, courtesy of Miss Alicia DeMarco, I am drinking. I don't even know where this comes from. Give me a second. Maybe I can find.
The real question is, will there be fruit in it?
No, this one does not have fruit. It's a lager.
Dang.
Yeah. It says Heineken Heraufstücke, which cannot be a good thing. But yeah, it's called Karlovaco.
Looks like a tiny can, or your hand's just really large.
Well, my hands are big in general, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't know who's. Maybe that's someone's country flag. I don't know, but
I can't.
It is. I feel it might be a littler can than normal. Anyways,
just make it up. Say it's from Czechia.
Czechoslovakia. Yeah, there you go. Czechia. Czechoslovakia. I know that's not a country anymore, but it's fun to say. Yeah, I really maybe it could be. Nope, not even gonna try. Yeah. Anyways, let's see what's on tap for today's episode. Here's a week of snapshot. It's Stanley Cup playoff time, and we're already 5 games down in round 1. And teams have already, all the home teams are running away with it, including the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry to the Devils fans. We'll get those games in a minute. Yep. Some quick news, 2 coaching firings. So there's now 5 open jobs in the NHL, and they would be Boston. There are 2 other teams, but Boston's one of the main ones. Philly, thank you. And there was one
New
more.
York.
Now,
New York, Seattle, and
Seattle.
Anaheim.
Seattle was
Anaheim too.
But obviously this past week, both Anaheim and New York fired their coaches. Those other 3 were in
Seattle
season.
Today,
they
right?
let go of their head coaches. No, then there's 6. Because I said there was 3 before. And now I'm, I wish I had looked this up prior to making
Rangers,
this,
Philly, Seattle, Anaheim, Boston. That's 5. Who are we missing?
Yeah, Krakenfall buys Bausma. Canucks declined Talkett option, but they're offering a new deal. There was another team from the regular season that
I don't understand.
I'm forgetting.
Thing. They're not.
Well, apparently he wants a lot more money.
He still has.
He wants a lot more money, and he wants a lot more money, and he wants to be paid as like a top 10 coach. And I think the Canucks management wants to give him a better deal, but they just don't want to pay him like a top 10 coach. So they might lose him, and then I'll probably be a Ranger, and then I'm going to be unhappy.
I was just going to ask, would you want him to be your head
Listen,
coach?
I don't mind Talkett. I don't want to retread. And I know every coach gets recycled. It's the story of the NHL. They just can't get out of their own way to offer new opportunities to young, innovative coaches. I mean, hey, look what happened to Spencer Carberry. Hello, if you give it to a young guy who has fresh ideas, it may lead you to the playoffs or winning a good President's Trophy. But what am I now? There was a rumor, right? It's Tortorella, which I want nothing a part of. It's Joel Quenneville, which I don't want to touch him with a 5-foot pole. It is Talkett if he's available. Obviously, Mike Sullivan if he's available. Now, obviously, Sullivan would be.
I don't understand why he would be available all of a sudden.
There's a lot of rumors that Pittsburgh is 50-50 on him. Yeah.
I thought they would have, if like they wanted to get rid of him, wouldn't they have gotten rid of him by now?
Yeah, maybe. But I
I don't know.
guess they
Like,
just
if
aren't
you want a new
interested
coach,
in
don't you want to like give yourself the ample amount of time to do your
it.
research and everything?
Your bag. Sorry, I got asked about a book. I, I don't know where your books are. I'm sorry. Um, this is podcasting in its ultimate. I did not hide it. I'm asking if I withheld her books from daycare,
Mm,
which I did not.
are you sure?
Um, yeah, I'm getting told that I hid them.
Uh,
I did not hide the child's books. The yeah, so talking, which okay, maybe Sullivan if he's there, which would be great, but I just
oh
don't
yeah,
know that that's going to happen. I think, like I said, Pittsburgh's 50-50 on it. There was Jay Leach, assistant for Seattle, which now he's probably looking for a new opportunity anyway. There was who were the other two? They said
is Quinville an
David
option?
Carl. Quenville was
David
one of them.
Carr
I
would be
don't want
awesome.
him at all. I would love David Carl,
Oh
and
yeah.
everyone's saying, "Oh, he might go to Chicago because they'll offer him a lot of money." Listen,
Mm,
Connor Bedard's awesome. He really is. But he's the only thing on that team. At least the Rangers have a goaltender, which he's a top 3 in the league. Whether,
yeah.
this year he didn't prove it exactly, but he still is a top 3 goaltender in the league. It's not without question. They have a stud defenseman who's top 5 to 10. They have some players, on offense. So they have the makings of a squad you can build around if you're a young coach. It's not like you're just coming in and you're rebuilding and so, who knows what happens with that. But there were a couple other guys that I wanted nothing to do with. Oh, Jay Woodcroft was get out of
Oh
here.
yeah. Yeah. No
Um,
way.
so no way. Anyways, so obviously that happens. Same thing with Anaheim. They fire their coach. Bilesma's now out. So you have 6 openings, I think. But that was just some stuff for today, or well, yesterday and the day before that too. But um, Panthers not knowing what Kachuk's status is until Tuesday. So let's start getting into some
He's in.
playoff previews. He's absolutely in. They are
He's
slow
definitely in. There's
playing
no way.
the hell out of that.
Oh, Washington
Um,
scored. I didn't see that.
Washington scored.
Ovi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1
Ovechkin
nothing
scored.
Capitals.
And the
Good.
Jets scored too.
I It's funny. I want the entire Metro and the Canadians all out, but one of them is going to make it to the conference finals. So I have to kind of I want a complete Atlantic Division crown. I don't want any of these guys
Well, we
anywhere.
have 5
It's just
teams
depressing.
representing the Atlantic. So,
Yeah, I know.
or no,
Oh, but I
4
don't
teams.
want Montreal. No, you have 5.
Is it 5?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Montreal.
Montreal. Yeah, Montreal, Ottawa, and then the
Yeah.
3 tops. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, so I don't want to see any of those in Montreal to make it,
hmm.
but we'll see what happens if I'm lucky enough. So our picks and previews, which I will get to in a little bit. But Shrim, what was your overall take from the weekend games so far in the playoff brackets? You have the Jets up 1-0.
Hmm.
They lead the series 1-0. They're actually up 1-0 right now on the Blues
Yep.
with 2:08 left in the first in Game 2. So stupid that Game 2 is happening for teams when other teams have not played a Game
Yep.
1. Anyways, Game 2 coming up with Colorado. That will be tomorrow. Or sorry, that's tonight.
No, it's tonight. Yeah.
9:30. Yeah.
Still waiting to see if
Uh,
Landeskog's going to play or not.
yep. Colorado's up 1-0. Some would say controversial. I think that Colorado put a whooping on Dallas, and that goal, a couple goals that happened, it's you make luck out of it. So, game, Vegas is up 1-0 on the Wild. Kings Oilers goes today at 10
Tonight.
o'clock.
Yep.
You have Leafs and Senators. Leafs lead 1-0 on the back of a pretty wild win yesterday. Bolts Panthers are up tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 8:30.
Capitals Canadians. Yep. Capitals Canadians are right now 1-0. Start just ended the first, and finally the New Jersey Devils down 1-0 to Carolina in a beatdown. They
They
manhandled
pretty
them.
much
I don't think
dominated.
Devils
Yeah.
fans or Devils players can really say anything about it. They not only did they have the shots, right, but they had the greatest scoring chances. So
Hmm.
that's the series as it lies. Let's
They played.
get.
They got to like a perfect like game. I think that was like Carolina's game plan to just like smother the Devils and
Yeah,
put
they
everything
did.
at the net that they could. They were out shooting them. The one point I think it was like I forget. It was like 33-18 or something like that. and it was 3-0
Yeah.
or 3-1 because I think the Devils got a late goal or something in the second. But it was just, yeah, they completely manhandled them, and then they had insult to injury. They had like 3 more injuries in that game where they lost
Yeah.
Cody
Oh,
Glass and
Cody
Dylan
Glass,
and somebody else.
which was his own players,
Yeah, friggin'
where
Markstrom went to go
Markstrom
slash
slashes him,
slash a
Svechnikov, and
player, and he
smashes
hits his own
Cody
guy.
Glass instead. Yeah,
Uh,
that sucks.
that was bad.
And yeah, you had quite a runabout in the playoffs. So, what was your overall take on the first 5 games? Any games stand out to you specifically,
I mean,
or any
it went
series?
pretty much like I picked. I picked Toronto. I picked the Avs. I picked who else played? I picked Vegas. Although that game was a little bit closer than I
Yeah,
thought it would be. Still a pretty good game, but the Toronto game
I
was
like I like
ooh wow.
Bium. I
St. Louis
think he's
almost
going
got
to
it.
be a very good player.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Toronto game went like Ottawa could not stay out of the penalty box. They just kept taking penalty
They
after
could not.
penalty, and friggin' Toronto would score like anywhere from 2 to 5 seconds into the power play. I think they had 3 power play goals, and they were all scored in like the first 5 seconds of the power play. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
they.
So they
It,
need to adjust. They will for game 2.
I
But
thought overall that they actually Ottawa played well 5 on
they had
5. They
chances.
just
They had good chances. They just could not score, and then they got into penalty trouble,
ooh,
and that was the game.
Brendan Gallagher in this game got a nasty cross check right to
Yeah,
the
no call,
chops.
no call,
Who was that?
nothing. It was Protus, I think.
Oh my god! Is that not a call?
That's what I'm
You got to
saying.
be
There's no
suspended. That's bad.
consistency. Last night that happens. The guy gets a major penalty. Same thing. And then today, nothing.
Jesus,
I don't know. I
what?
don't get it.
I don't
Oh,
like
tie
Brendan
game.
Gallagher, but that's just
St.
dirty.
Louis.
St. Louis
Who was
1-1.
that? Is that Buchnevich? Former.
Is
Oh
at the
no,
end of
Snuggerud.
right at the end of the first, huh?
Holy shit! 0.8 left in the period. I think Snuggerud just
Yeah,
scored.
because it says end of the. Actually says end of the first, and they don't have a score up for the Blues yet,
Yeah,
so that's interesting. Um,
I'm watching it
all right,
live.
so let's get to our picks, which are always fun. And
Mm-hmm.
as anybody knows, this is the last 2 seasons we've kind of done this. We talked to the Let's Go Devils podcast crew and some other fans and friends. We kind of get our picks for the upcoming. And let me just go to YouTube, see if I can pull up any comments as they come in because we appreciate all the fanfare. And yeah, I actually didn't say. So Steve under the weather today, shorts guy, lots going on. So that's why we're missing those 2. But we
Hopefully next
do
week
miss them, and we want to do.
we get
We
to 200.
finally want to do a lovely 200 episode. Yes, Jim Norton. Devils do have to get the next game. It's imperative, right? You want to steal one on the road.
Yeah, you don't want
It makes
to go
everything
back
about a series.
down 2-0.
It's just, and listen, it's impressive that they got this far. They were, I think, bottom 5 in points from the Jack Hughes injury on out in the NHL, so they kind of just floundered to the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have some pieces that, and Markstrom. I've given him some flax. He had a
played
pretty
well.
good game. 40
He played
saves.
pretty
In
well.
a loss.
He was the only
Usually
reason
don't see that. Yeah,
it wasn't like out of
close.
hand. They were only down by 2.
Yeah, he
played
played
really
well.
well.
Dylan was out. Obviously Hughes, and then you talked about Glass.
And there was somebody else that got hurt.
Dougie Hamilton.
I thought there was like 3 guys that game.
Maybe it is. Yeah, Glass, Hughes, and
Well, not Hughes. I mean, during that
Dylan.
game, I thought they lost Dylan. They lost Glass.
No.
Somebody else got hurt.
Luke Hughes.
Luke Hughes. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But he came back though. I think, didn't he?
I don't.
Pretty sure
actually
he got hurt and then came back. I'm pretty sure he did.
But yeah, Devils need the next game. So, all right.
Oh, yeah.
So our picks. We always do it with the Let's Go Devils podcast crew, and what we do is we get. I send out the matchups, and I want them to give us, first round what they think who the winner is going to be, and then how many games, and then I want the cup final picks just so we can kind of watch as it goes around, and then we'll do Elite 8, we'll do Final 4, and we'll do the championship once again. We'll ask for new picks again because obviously some of us are idiots and don't understand or don't make great picks. All right, so Schwim, let's go with you first. You did pick Jets in 7. You picked the Avalanche in 6, Knights in 5, Kings in 6, Leafs in 5, Lightning in 7, Capitals in 5, and the Hurricanes in 6. And your cup final was the Jets over the Caps in 6 games. You are just a horrible Lightning fan. Just horrible.
I can't
Why the
pick my own team.
Capitals?
I can't ever do it.
Yes, you
I can't pick
can.
my own team. I can't do it.
It's
I hate
just
picking
a
my own team.
joke.
I feel like I jinx them every time I pick them, so I cannot pick my own team.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
I don't like doing it.
I forget. So the only guys that didn't give me cup finals picks were Shorts guy, of course, and Max, which I'll get his. I'll reach out to him, but Max did pick Jets in Jets in 6, Avs in 6, Knights in 5, Kings in 6, Leafs in 7, Lightning in 5, Capitals in 5, and then
Wow.
Devils in 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so the only people that didn't pick the Devils were myself, you, and Steve. We all picked the Hurricanes in 5 or 6 games.
Okay.
It was near unanimous for the Capitals, other than Shorts guy picking Canadians in
Short guy picks
7,
Montreal. Wow.
and
Was there any
Scotty
series where
Canadians
all of
in 7.
us picked? It was a unanimous pick.
Mm, almost. Sam Wu is the
Wow.
only one to take the Wild over the Knights.
That's crazy. Okay.
And Sam Wu is also the only one to take the Blues over the Jets.
Okay.
So Sam Wu living on the edge a little bit.
I like it.
Avalanche and Stars were pretty much split. 4-4 in split for
All right.
Avs and Stars. The Kings and Oilers was actually, I think the Kings won that. Yeah. Beer Baron and myself are the only ones to pick the Oilers. And then lastly, Leafs Senators, we had 4-4 in Leafs versus
That's
Senators.
crazy.
So
That's crazy
interesting.
to me. Okay.
I took the Bolts over the Avs in 6 games in the Cup final. Steven takes the Knights over the Lightning in 6. Obviously, we talked about Schwim. Sam Wu took Devils over the Stars in 6. That's a laugher. And Beer Baron takes the Capitals over the Jets in 7. Scotty also gave me his preview, and quickly, because I want to make sure I read it out loud, he picked, I apologize, Avs over the Panthers in 7. The only team that did not get a Cup Finals pick that I was surprised at, oh, never mind, Steve did take it. So the Knights over the Lightning, he picked them in 6 games.
Yeah.
I think that the Knights, and to your, you did pick the Capitals. I think that the Knights have the easiest opportunity to go to the Cup final just because that Central Division is going to beat the living daylights out of each other before they have to face the Knights even. And not that the Knights have an easy road. I think the Wild are a good matchup, but I do think the Knights will beat them in rather handily. And then the Oilers-Kings matchup, I just think they match up. They play so well against those two teams, and especially if Draisaitl's still hurt and McDavid, those two are going to play, but they've had these nagging injuries for the entire playoff, end of the regular season. So we'll see what happens. But I do think the Knights are that's not sneaky because they're Cup champions 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, but they are so good and so deep, and
they're very deep.
Can,
they're 4 lines deep and 3 D lines deep.
No one talks about them as much.
No, they don't get enough praise, I don't think. I mean, people are talking about them, I would say, but not like they're talking about like, oh, the Avs or the or Winnipeg or any of the other teams.
Oh,
like
Stars.
Stars, all those teams. But the Oilers Kings series, I think that's going to be like another one that's going to be a bloodbath because they've met, what is it, 4 years in a row now or something in the first round?
4 years in a row.
That's crazy. So that series is going to be nuts, and I think the Kings are a little bit better equipped this time to knock them out. That's why I picked them. Plus, their D is really good. They're getting really good goaltending. I still don't trust Edmonton's goaltending, even though they went all the way to the finals last year. But I don't know.
See, I don't trust Edmonton's goaltending, but that's against the better teams. They still have the two best players. If you're ranking them 1-2, it might be those two. Maybe McKinnon bumps Draisaitl to 3, but that's 1, 2, 3, right? They have two of the best players in the world. Some fantastic defensemen. I know obviously Ekholm's hurt. He might be out the whole playoffs, and they're getting some bodies back. But against the Kings, I think they can do it. Now, next matchup, if they do go against the Knights, I'm picking the Knights, and I'm not even thinking about it. But yeah, I think they still 4 times in a row is
Knights play
crazy.
The winner
to
of
beat
that
somebody.
series if they win.
Yeah, Knights. Yeah, they all stay within the division.
Yeah, I think whoever comes out of that, and if the Knights win, I would pick them too.
Yeah. Yep. But that's how I would. So I have 13-16 left in the second. And it's 1-0.
No, it's 1-1.
Was that goal called back?
No, they scored. He scored with under a second left
In what period?
in the first period.
So I'm on ESPN right now. I
Not
just
the
refreshed
Caps
it.
Canadians, the Jets and Blues.
Oh, just Blues. I was looking at Caps
Yeah,
Canadians. I thought you said that
Snuggerud
before.
scored with.
It's like, wait, what the hell?
No, I said Snuggerud scored with like under a second left.
That's what I thought. And then I was looking at it. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Assisted by former New York Ranger.
Yeah, Pavel Buchnevich. What a horrible trade.
What a great trade.
Sammy Blais. Oh my god.
Sammy Blais, baby.
Yeah, Sammy Blais. Is he even on St. Louis anymore? Where is Sammy Blais?
Who? Sammy Blais? I don't know where he is.
Because he was traded back and then sucked still.
He was traded back, or was he waived and then picked up?
Abbotsford Canucks. So he's in the minors. Man, he stinks. Ugh, that piece of crap. We got him. Yeah, 23-24, and he's been in 24-25 Abbotsford the entire year. 51 games, 44 points. Yikes. He also played in the Wolf Pack. He had 5 assists in 40 games for the Rangers. What a piece of shit.
So did Chris Kreider.
Yeah, he had less.
What did I was looking at some, not to get off topic, but with him, he had like 50 less points than last year or something like that. That's insane.
So they did the whole thing on the Rangers. Yeah, 50-point drop for him. Pretty much all the big guys had all underachieving years. I had some stats, and I might have saved it somewhere else. Yeah, it's not good. They are a complete dumpster fire. And they've obviously fired their coach, and I think they're going to continue to, make some good, clean housing. I don't know if I want them to fire Drury. I'm kind of on the fence about it, just because I think he's made some good moves. And was he, if you were the GM of the team last year, would you really have traded guys that had career years coming off of last season's President's Trophy? No, like, you weren't asked to do that. So people give them, shit, but I just don't think it's a logical moves. So
I don't understand though why going into this season he wanted to make such like big changes when everything went so well.
Well, he didn't.
For him.
He didn't want to make big changes.
He wanted to get rid of the captain right away. He put friggin'
He was
going to
make.
Nowhere.
I don't know if I'd say that those are big changes. Like, I know it's a captain.
I think those are big changes in the locker room. Great.
Yeah, but like, grow up. Like, then those other players have to grow up. Like, all of a sudden you guys don't play. You completely quit on the season.
I don't know.
After they trade 2 guys. Like, we serious here? Like, grow up. Be a big boy and. Go out and, in spite of the coach win, in spite of the GM win.
By the GM.
Right? Like, all of a sudden you act like a complete douche. I hate him. Mika Zibanejad specifically. And it sucks because there's, Kreider most likely played his last game as a New York Ranger, and he's a legacy player. Like, he's an all-time New York Ranger. For what he's done, he's going to, could have the goal record and a whole bunch of other things. But, he had such a good Rangers career, and it's going to end in just like spoiled meat. It's bad. Same thing with Zibanejad. You watch Zib during some of those years, and he was the best player on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just it just sour taste in the mouth. Just how the season ended, how from November to December it was just a disaster. I'm just.
I don't know if he's getting dealt though. I don't know if they're dealing.
I think they're going to do everything they can to try.
Really?
They might even tell him, "Hey, listen, if you're going to come back, you're not going to play. You can sit in the press box." And if the deal is best friend, does that make it easier for you to say, "All right, I want to get out of here too"? Because Kreider's his best buddy.
Friend? Oh, Kreider. Right.
Kreider, yeah.
I'd say he's more legitimately, an option to be traded.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, I think Kreider's gone.
Yeah.
And who knows what happens with other players? Lafreniere, Miller, Counter Miller, that is, Schneider, and now Panarin with the whole issue with the sexual assault, paying off. It's just
what? Let's throw John Tortorella into this mix.
Yeah, I know.
That'll fix everything, right?
Yeah, that's what we need. A couple teams that did miss playoffs. We talked about the Rangers, but Calgary, they actually tied the record for most points in a season without making the playoffs with 96. which would have actually been third in the Metro. That sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously, Canadians, they sat 31st overall in the standings as of December 1st, and then they punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is pretty impressive. Demidov, the Canadians had their biggest single-day sales in franchise history for jerseys during the Demidov debut game. They sold over $250,000 in Demidov jerseys. Yeah, that is crazy.
Played 2 games. Good for him.
Yeah, 2 games.
Now it's third, I guess, tonight.
Schwim, your boy, Brendan Hagel, 35 goals is the most in NHL history without scoring a power play goal.
Power play. Yep. He had all even strength and shorthanded. That's it.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. And he's on the power play. It's not like he's
he
like
just has never.
Like he's on the.
Is he on the second power play or first one?
He's on. He goes back and forth. Sometimes he's on the first one when they're like kind of mixing things up, and then other times he's on the second. But yep, no power play goals. All even strength and shorthanded.
Yeah.
Whatever.
A couple other good stats, but I just want to go over really the playoffs with you in a minute and kind of discuss.
I'm waiting patiently for my goddamn team to start.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
All right, so we have the brackets. We kind of went over that. The bottom, so pretty cool. You have possibly the best first round slate in years. The Battle of Ontario, so Senators, Toronto. The Battle of Florida, Lightning, Panthers. The Rantanen Bowl, which is Colorado and Dallas. You have the Oilers Kings Part 4, and then the Habs making their way back into the playoffs against the Capitals, who just won the President's, that came second in the President's Trophy. A team that's upstart. Maybe the Caps can kind of be that. Pretty good little round of games here, and very impressed that. All right, I'm just going through some stats real quickly as I quickly go. All right, so let's do this. Jets Blues. So obviously we all picked the Jets. How can
some person pick the
Blues? Obviously one Mr.
The one thing the Blues have going for them is that for whatever reason, Connor Hellebuyck is not as good in the playoffs as he is in the regular season.
Yeah.
And like he didn't look all that great in game 1. Winnipeg won that game, pulled away in the third period. Tied 1-1 right now. I mean, if you can stay close with them and then maybe sneak out a win somehow and get a late goal or something like that, maybe they could, they go back tied. And then St. Louis is a good team. That's why I picked the Jets in 7. I thought it was going to be a closer series than a lot of people anticipated, just because, in my opinion, I don't trust. I'm going by history because for whatever reason, every time Hellebuyck in the playoffs isn't the same. He's looked okay in this from what I've seen so far in this game, but I don't know if you saw the goal, the St. Louis goal, the tying goal is an absolute snipe, top shelf.
It was good.
Snuggerud. That was a nice shot.
Yeah, he's Jimmy Snuggerud's a very good player.
He's a young player. Is he American? I think he is.
Yeah.
So they have the whiteout going in Winnipeg, which I love seeing. Except for, did you see the game 1? It was a complete whiteout, except for some asshole in like the first, second or third row, or somebody's wearing a friggin' Flyers jersey.
Yeah, Flyers. It was orange. Yeah.
I'm like, there's always one idiot who has to ruin everything.
One jerk. Yeah. Listen, the Jets win a President's Trophy. You have the goaltender who could possibly be the MVP, Vezina. They could go on a little bit of a run here. They got career years from Kyle Connor, who's my favorite American. Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers, Gabriel Velarde. Who?
Scheifele, I believe, scored tonight.
Scheifele?
So he's still
I was just about to talk to him. Talk about him in a second. Mark Scheifele, right? You had the whole issue with him not making Team Canada, which he was pretty upset about, and maybe he should have. But he's taken that throughout the entire regular season, and he's had a fantastic season. And I think he's bringing it into the playoffs, and that's scary because he needed to be their number 1 center, and he's pretty much been that the entire year. I love this Jets team. I'm a big fan. Obviously, there's some other teams that are pretty fantastic in this playoff too. But head to head, Winnipeg's 3-1 against them. Uh, you know, they have better forwards, better defense, and their goaltender is just light years better than an
Mm-hmm.
average Jordan Binnington, whether he won the Four Nations, you know, exhibition or not. Um, I like what they have going for him. Gabe Velarde's awesome. Nikolai Ehlers is underrated. And then Morrissey's a very good power play specialist and just overall defenseman. So
Yeah.
Robert Thomas has had a great year, 80 points. I think it's 3 straight years, or it's either 2 or 3 straight years of 80 plus points, which hasn't happened since one Brett Hull. Um, yeah, I'm just a fan. And I think that, the X factors would be essentially Hellebuck stinking and Bennington playing lights out, which I
Yeah.
can't see that happening.
Yeah. He's
Uh,
the Jets are another really, really deep team like Vegas. They have like
yeah,
they can roll 4 lines. Their decor is really good. They added
yep,
Tanev back there. He's a guy that he's like a playoff guy that you'd want on your team. He's like a grit, heart and soul guy. Uh,
yeah,
good locker room guy too. He could probably chip in here and there, but yeah, I don't know. Don't sleep on the St. Louis team. They're a sneaky, sneaky good team.
yeah. I'm gonna
That's why I think
sleep.
the series
Uh,
is
I'm
gonna be close.
I'm gonna go to sleep and wake me up if it happens. But I'm sleeping. Um, all right, next series: Vegas Golden Knights, Minnesota Wild. If back in the beginning of the year, if you remember, maybe through like December, Kirill Kaprizov was a heart
Yeah, he was rolling.
contender. He
Oh
was
yeah, he was rolling.
just fantastic. I think Minnesota had a good points percentage and goal differential. They were just beasts. You had Joel Eriksson Ek and Jared Spurgeon and Jonas Brodin, but then all these guys go down to injury. Um, Luckily, Philip Gustafson has had a great year along with Carey Price. Sorry, Carey Price, Marc-Andre Fleury.
Oh,
Um, they've all together just they come back and they're good, just not great, right? Vegas is 3-0
yeah,
against them in the head-to-head. You have Vegas with Jack Eichel, and he's played this all-world hockey on offense, but he's now become a defensive game changer, and he was that in the series against Canada, against Canada with Team USA.
hmm
They just have so much depth, right? We said Eichel, Stone, Hurdle, Dorofeyev, and then you have Theodore and Petrangelo, and
yeah,
their defense and their goaltender is playing well. I like Matt Boldy a lot. 73 points this year. Marco Rossi had a good year. Kaprizov obviously was hurt, and Yevzuk and guys that they have a lot of fun players to watch. I just this team, we talked about the Knights. They're just so well oiled.
yeah.
Hell, even former Tampa and former New York Ranger
Brett Howden.
center man beauty Brett Howden had like 15 goals this year. They're just so well oiled and so much depth. I can't see Minnesota making this really to 6 games.
No, they could maybe steal one game, but yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
picked. What did I pick Vegas? Did I pick Vegas in 5?
Um.
I don't remember, but yeah, they're just like they've like been there, done that. Vegas is just like, all right, let's.
Yeah,
They're
we
just
both picked
waiting for
Knights.
the.
Oh, I picked Knights in 6. You picked them in 5.
I did pick them in 5, yeah. So
Yeah.
they're just, I don't know, like Minnesota's pretty much they're outmatched and they know it,
Yeah, they're
but
in trouble.
they're gonna try, their best to try to see what they can
Yeah.
do. But I don't know. I think in the end, you're not gonna beat them in a 7 game series. If it was like a one game on a like in football, you have one day and one game to beat them, maybe, but
Yep.
not in a 7 game series. I don't think you're. Is it 2-0? Oh shit, 2-0 Caps.
Good.
Um, yeah, I don't see them. They might put up a fight, but again, I don't think they're gonna. There's no way they're coming out of
Uh,
that series. I'd
Kings
be surprised,
Oilers.
really surprised.
Kings Oilers round 4. How do the Kings get? How do they take this series? What are you seeing happening in order for them to
Well,
get
they
there?
have to get. They're. I already think they have the edge in goaltending, so they need their goalie to play
Yeah.
like he's been playing. But they have this. Their defense is really good, so I think their defense can. I mean, you got to try to contain those two monsters on Edmonton. It's a easier said than done, but
Yeah.
It's if you can like limit those two guys, I don't see anybody else on the team that's gonna be able to like step up and chip in there. Like the team runs through those two guys.
Yeah,
So if you could
and we
somehow
obviously
limit them
know.
and smother them, it might, that might work in your favor. Plus, don't they have like one of the best penalty kills too in the league? I don't know.
Yeah, they're extremely good.
Yeah,
Um, obviously Doughty is ridiculous, and we know about Anderson, but Edmondson's been fantastic for them. Clark
Gavrikov
has been
is
good.
awesome.
Gavrikov, yep.
Yeah, Brent Clark is a good
Someone
young
who,
defenseman.
we'll see if Gavrikov makes it to free agency. A lot of teams think he's probably going to be re-signed, but I would love him if I was, for the Rangers.
That was a good trade. That was a good trade for them.
Yeah, really good trade. But besides just the defense, they have two of the best defensive centers in the league. Kopitar obviously is one Selke's. Philip Deneau, we know him, but I don't think a lot of NHL fans recognize how good this guy is defensively. And, he obviously playing in Montreal, he got some fandom, but he goes to Kings where he's kind of in obscurity being in LA, which is funny.
He's not flashy at all, but he's like a
just
poor
rock
man's
solid.
like Bergeron. He's like really good in the faceoff circle. He's a really good defensive.
I'd say
forward.
poor man's Kopitar, right? Because I don't think anyone's on the Bergeron, but like
I'm not
poor
saying
man's Kopitar.
like he's oh shit! Oh my god, Binnington just got destroyed.
Good. Is he gonna fight somebody?
He's like he's like crumpled up right now. They're trying to. The guy is like underneath him still.
Who nailed him?
Who was that? I think it was Scheifele that went flying into him.
Scheifele? Was it advertent? Is it going to be a penalty?
I think he lost an edge or he got pushed, but he went barreling into him. He's up and around. So I guess everybody's
but
okay.
Defensively, besides those two, for the Kings, Fogle, Byfield, Laferriere, Turcotte, Tanner Jeannot,
Fiala, Kempe.
Yeah, they're all good defensively too, and they have to play the 2-1 hockey. They have to get the goaltending because if they go in a pissing match with Edmonton, you're going to lose because
you're not going to be able to run and
so
gun
much
with them.
offense. Yeah,
they have to be like kind of like how Carolina like controlled the game against the Devils. I'm not saying the Devils are like Edmonton, but just saying like the way they played. They have to control the game, play like the way they're normally playing, and then they can chip. Like all those guys can chip in goals. Any one of those guys, Fiala, Kempe, Byfield, at any point,
Byfield,
Kopitar, all of them can chip in there, and then they can hold on for like a 2-1 win. That team. That's like one team that can like a 1-goal lead is like they could lock that down. That's how good they are. Yeah. Plus, they're like at home. They've been unbelievable at home this season. I think they only have like 4 losses or something at home. So they're gonna have the crowd behind them. Will Ferrell will probably be there. Pat Sajak will probably be there.
Yeah, Pat Sajak.
Yeah, they're all Kings fans. So, but
I
think a lot of us picked the Kings, right? Or was it split?
Yeah, I picked Oilers. Only two.
Oh yeah,
two
you and somebody else, right? Were the only
and,
two.
Beer Baron.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of us like the Kings. I like the Kings.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys are wrong again, like you are every year. Last 3 years I picked the Oilers, and they've all won. Avalanche Stars, obviously game 1, Avs decisively put a whooping on them.
Yeah.
You have the kick and goal, which people are, I understand the rule is.
Oh, is that the one where the guy was like
a distinct
he was like upended and he kicked it?
Yeah, he literally was falling backwards. His legs kind of kick up, and he knocked the puck kind of rodeo, style into the goal.
Yeah.
You gotta love when those goals happen and people are like up in arms.
That was a crazy ass goal, but yeah.
But they get the big win. Obviously, Mikko Rantanen, 18 points in 19 games for Dallas after getting traded. He's the star for the two teams.
Mm-hmm.
You have McKinnon and Kel McCarr and Arturi Lehkonen and Taves and Drouin and Marty Necas. Colorado just so offensively gifted.
Yeah.
On the other side,
everybody's picking them.
Yeah.
To win.
Yeah, Duchesne, Wyatt Johnson, Rupe Hintz, Thomas Harley. They're without Jason Robertson, who's going to be out maybe for a couple games. We'll see if he makes it back this series. I hope he does because it's fun when guys have the full lays. But Heishinen's most likely missing this series unless it goes 7 maybe. I don't even think he can though. Colorado Dallas has so many injuries, and Colorado's on such a roll from these trades, and their goaltender Blackwood was awesome. Mac Black.
Yeah, he played really well.
Ottinger had some clunkers in there in that first game. I picked Colorado, and I know everyone was kind of split on the series.
Yeah, I picked them too.
If Dallas was healthy, I picked them to win the cup, right? I picked them in the beginning of the year to win for them to beat the Rangers. For them to beat Tampa. But if they were healthy, I'd be picking them. I just can't in a series like this. You have when you're without your best defenseman, and Thomas Harley's played awesome this whole year, including that Four Nations tournament. He's been great, and some guys have stepped up, but those are two big shoes to fill. You have your top winger, your number one defenseman, and your goalie now has to be all world, and he might not be that guy anymore. We've waited for Ottinger to have that same run that he had in the playoffs. Was it 3 years ago? And he just has not been that guy anymore.
No.
And you got to worry about him. And they're a really good team still. But it's Colorado for me, and they have the horses, and they're just playing the best. And to have in the back of your mind that your captain is working his ass off to come back and play in the Stanley Cup final, the playoffs. Yeah, he might play tonight, but he just worked his balls off for this whole season to come back for the playoffs for you. You have to have like that jolt of electricity surging.
Oh yeah,
I want him to. If he comes back today.
Now, you know what he's
going to lose it.
I don't think he's going to play tonight. He's going to come back for the first home game.
Game 3.
And
that would be pretty
for Colorado.
Cool. Yeah.
And they're going to maybe squeak out a win against Dallas in the game 2, and then go home and the place is going to friggin' explode because he's going to play game 3.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're what was like, what I noticed, like there was the factor in all these games that have already gone on. Every single team's like big stars are, leading the way. Look, like Colorado, friggin' McKinnon, I think had 3 points in game 1.
3 points.
Had a bunch of points. The Toronto game, the friggin' top line had Nylander at 2 points,
like
Matthews at 2.
Points. Yeah.
All them.
Marner 3.
Somebody else at 3 points. Yeah, like all the big boys are contributing for their teams. It's been Scheifele in the game 1. Scheifele and Connor, I think they both scored. And now Scheifele scored again in this one. So all the big guys are bringing it. So that's what you want to see. Your best. It's cliche, but your best players got to be your best players.
They're talking about that third line for Colorado being Coyle, Ross Colton, and Landeskog. That's a big, tough third line. I love it. I'm so pumped to watch that game when he comes back. So I'm gonna be cheering for it. I'm rooting for the Avs this year, especially because Lindgren, Rangers. Jimmy VC. I want these guys to win cups. It's fun when that happens. Obviously, proud of UMass, Kel McCarr. Good series out west. Eastern Conference, obviously, Capitals, Montreal. Listen, Capitals are just a better team. They have a better system. I think Montreal upstarts. I was hoping that they wouldn't make it because I just personally wanted Columbus.
Yeah, we wanted Columbus in.
But Montreal's got some good young players, and their goalie's okay. Montebo, whoever they want to start off in game 1. Who did they start today? I didn't see it.
Montebo's playing.
It is Montebo. Okay.
Yeah.
Nick Suzuki's a good young player. Their captain. Cole Caulfield's fun goal scorer. All this other stuff.
Lane Hudson.
Demidov, Lane Hudson, who could win the
Calder.
Thank you. I still think that Dustin Wolf will get it, but it's going to be close. I just think he has such a good year as a goaltender. Yeah, okay. But Capitals on the other side, they have the talent, the system, the defenseman's playing great, their goalies they can go back and forth with, I don't even think it's there's just too much firepower for Washington against Montreal.
Yeah, I don't see it being on it. Yeah, I don't see it being too close. I think I picked Washington in 5. That might even be. They're completely outmatched. It's like, Montreal had a great season and they made the playoffs, but you're playing the best team in the East, basically the number 1 team in the East, almost the President's Trophy winner. Again, it's a 7-game series. I don't think you're beating that team in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right, Toronto and Ottawa.
That's another one. Everyone thinks that series is going to be close, and I was on the opposite. I'm like, I think Toronto's going to kill them. They have all the experience. Ottawa has been in the playoffs in years.
Yeah.
and they played
No, completely agree.
like idiots in the first
Um,
game. They got in trouble on the power
yeah,
play.
I'd
Oh,
Leafs
I
in
hate the whistle.
6. I've
I
Leafs
think
in
I put them in
6,
5.
and I think it's gonna be a close 6. You did pick Leafs in 5, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Listen, Leafs are good, extremely good. Their defense is probably the best I've seen it in years. Their forwards are obviously
they're
rolling.
getting goaltending
Yeah,
finally.
goaltending is doing well. Eh, If it's going to be a power play fest like it was in Game 1, Leafs are going to
Mm.
take this because I don't think
They're gonna
Ottawa's
kill them.
penalty kill is very
So I'm
good.
saying Ottawa
They're going to murder them.
can't. They got to stay out of the box.
But
They can't do this
5-on-5,
stuff.
they actually played very competitively with them, and that's where Toronto could get bit in the butt.
Yeah.
Ottawa has some really good forwards. They have they can go. They're deep. They have um, talent all the way up and down their lineup. Their defense suspect, right? When you look at their defense, it doesn't wow you.
Hmm.
Jake Sanderson's awesome, but it's nothing. Him and Chikrin are pretty much the only thing they have going.
No, Chikrin's in
But
Washington.
sorry, not Chikrin. Uh, Shabbat. I was
Yes,
missing up Shabbat. And Artem Zub's a fun guy to watch. Play defense.
it's got a cool name.
Uh,
Yeah.
Listen, Olmark is just not, I think, a top goalie. He got paid like one, but I just don't think he is. But their offense, Dylan Cousins and Shane Pinto and Stutzla and Perron and Kachuk and Batherson and Giroux, their top 7-8 forwards can match up with that of Toronto. And like I said, if they can keep out of the box, they have a chance. But if not, they're going to get smacked, and it's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Let's go with the
They need to
Devils.
play. They need
And
to play hard like they did, but just don't play stupid. Like you can't do
yeah,
stupid shit and put Toronto on the power play because last game, look at that. It took him 15 seconds to score 3 goals. Not even. I
yeah,
think it was under that. So it's I don't know. Got to play a tighter
they can
game and then
move quickly
go
on them.
from there.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wear them
Uh,
down.
all right. Devils, Hurricanes. Game 1, Hurricanes, like we said, kind of gave them the business. The Devils need to come out here in Game 2 and get it back quickly and kind of put some pressure on the Hurricanes because the Hurricanes are just, I don't think they're overly a great team. They have some really good players. I think Aho is the best player on the ice during this series, especially with Hughes out. They have, I think, the best defenseman in Slavin, who we saw at once again the Four Nations just
Hmm.
become an absolute stud. I Listen, Rangers fan. I don't want the Devils to win. I hope they get swept. But when you look at the seasons that someone like Jesper Bratt has had, who he was 83 points. He was. I saw this. He's the only. There's only 2 players in the league with with over 80 points and over 80 hits, and it was him and it was
Surprising.
was it Ovechkin? Um, yeah, it was him and it was. It was a fun stat when I saw it. I was like, "Holy crap!" Um, I wonder if
I
the
also
Let's Go
didn't
Devils
know. I
podcast.
also didn't know that the Devils' power play was like number 3 in the league. I had no idea
Yeah,
that they had a really good power play.
they do.
You were
Obviously,
saying that
it's
yesterday.
taken
I'm
a
like,
turn. It's taken a turn since
Hughes
uh,
has been out, but
Hughes
still
got
number
out.
3 in the
Yeah,
league.
88.
That's I would have
Um,
never guessed that.
let's see if I can find
It's not
the
Ovi.
stat. I thought it was, but then I don't think he.
He had over
Um,
80 points. Did he not?
Ovechkin had. I don't think Ovechkin did have over 80 points, did he? Yeah, I don't think he didn't. Yeah, he had 73. Who was it? It was now I'm racking my brain. Oh, Sam Reinhart.
Okay.
Yeah, both guys had over this is
Oh,
giving
yeah, he had
me
81 points.
81
Sam
points.
Reinhart.
Um yeah, so Kiefer Sutherland
Kiefer
Kiefer
Sutherland,
Sherwood,
vamp.
462 hits was ridiculous this year. But it was him and Sam Reinhart. Pretty cool stat. I have to give that to the Let's Go Devils pod so they can use that. But Yeah, I just listen 2-2 split. Carolina, Jersey. Some of those were before, but 50-50 split for goals to almost 13-12. They last met in December, which was when Hughes was still around, so you can't really take those games into account. But Aho 71 points. Seth Jarvis obviously played with the big boys in the Four Nations. Svechnikov's played well. They have Goss Spare on the power play. He sure 30 goals, over 30 goals, played really well. Luke Hughes had a good season, the season as a young rook. This team's more depth, better defense, and has, I think, the better goaltender at the the start of the playoffs. So I know Markstrom's good, but I think when Anderson's in there and he's healthy,
He's just got to stay healthy. He's got to
which is
stay in
what
the
he's
net.
better. Yeah,
That's his problem. He's gonna get hurt
it's
like
tough.
halfway through
I
the
also was
series.
surprised they didn't start
Really?
Kochetkov before him,
Eh,
but yeah,
I don't know. And
um,
what's his face? Stankoven, their
Stank.
acquisition for
Yeah,
the
Stank.
Rantanen, had 2
Yeah,
goals in that first
yeah,
game.
played well.
So he looks good.
All right, now to the preview that you, I'm sure, want to get through quickly. Tampa, Florida, Lightning Panthers, 102 points versus 98. Tampa with the edge.
Home ice. Yep.
Listen, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you, hockey gods. In-state rivalries, or if you want to call it, Battle of Ontario kind of things. But they're always fun to see those early. But not in this
Everyone is talking
instance.
about this series, like they can't wait for this series to start. Even the Canadian
Yeah,
uh, analysts who love Toronto and the Ottawa series, they're like, no, we're waiting for Tampa, Florida, because they think it's going to be an absolute friggin' bloodbath. Which
yeah.
it could be. It very well could be.
Listen, this is the series that if you told me this was the Stanley Cup final, I can't know it can't happen because they're both the East. But if
Yeah,
we want to say Eastern Conference
that's what
final,
you want to see.
I'd be like,
You'd
oh,
want to
that
see
makes
this
sense.
finals.
Because these two are the best. But they are just absolute beasts. You have Jake Gensel as a newcomer with JJ Moser, Connor Geeky. Tampa kind of
Both
going younger
in
at the
the
beginning of the
playoffs for the
year.
first time.
Yep. Vasi and Hedman coming back. They had great years. Hagel, career year. Cooch, obviously is Cooch, and he's probably going to win another Art Ross, or he's going to win
He
another Art Ross, maybe a
is
Hart.
going to win it. Yes, 2 in a
Um,
row. Art Ross.
yeah. On the other side, right, Bob has looked human, but he's still Bob.
He's a little bit.
You
His
have,
stats
yeah,
are a little bit down from last year, but he's still
yep.
good. Yeah.
Simon Reinhart didn't have, the monster season he did last year, but he's still a very good player. Barkov, is Barkov. He's
Barkov. Yeah.
fantastic. Aaron Ekblad, gets a suspension. He'll be back in game 3.
Yep.
I just think you can see the wear and tear on the Florida Panthers.
I hope so.
And
I mean, I hope they're tired.
I think you already see it. You see Brady Tkachuk with his resting his body.
Yeah, he hasn't played forever. How's he going to be?
They were resting Reinhardt and Barkov. You saw guys like Listerranen and Lindell as first line players for a couple games. Tampa's got Cooch and Hagel and Point and Gensel and Hedman. Like Gensel might have had the quietest 80 points that I've ever seen somebody have as a star. Carter Verhaeghe only 53 points. He had 80 something last year.
Yeah,
Sam Bennett,
he's down, but
might be out.
he's a playoff performer. That guy.
Yeah,
That
he
guy
is. Carter is.
He scores
Yeah.
big goals. So
yeah,
he'll find it in the playoffs, I think. Or I mean, I hope he doesn't, but he scores very big goals. He scored multiple game-winning overtime goals. And last-second goals to win games. So
yeah. Listen, if Kachuk and the rest of the team were 100% healthy, this would be a different conversation. I'd probably be taking Florida. It's not though, and the Bullets are playing, I think, their best hockey. I've said it for a month now, and Shroom could test. Maybe even 2. I think Tampa is the odds-on favorite. I don't care about betting. Just looking at the team's play, they are the odds-on favorite for me to get to the Stanley Cup final as the Eastern team, and they are just so loaded and so good. Cooch, like you said, him dancing around and distracting the Panthers is going to leave Gensel and Point wide open, and that's where they're just going to bury you. Sorelli's had a good year, on that top, the second line. Nick Paul, he's a good third line center. We'll see how long. What's his name is out from Kraken. Not Not
Oh,
Gord.
Bjorkstrand.
Gord's obviously playing. Bjorkstrand. We'll see when he comes
Yeah, he's
back.
out
He's
for the
week to week.
series.
Yeah. But yeah, I got Florida I got Tampa in Florida. I got Tampa, and I said 6 games. I don't even think it's go 7.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people are saying either Florida 7 or Tampa 7. It's basically like a coin flip. But yeah, these two teams are going to beat the hell out of each other. It's going to be like it might be like that USA Canada game.
Yeah.
Because you got Kachuk and
Just
Hagel who fought in that game.
Yep.
Coming back at each other. But
You think they do
I
it
think
again, and then maybe a
I
little
think I think it's absolutely possible that they do that again. I think
Chuck Hagel
this
and
first game, whatever's going to happen in this game, it could be a close game. It could be, I don't know. It could go like either way. But I think like if Tampa loses game 1, I think they're really capable of like figuring it out and bouncing back in game 2. And same thing with Florida. If Florida loses game 1, I think they can, figure out what they did wrong and bounce back and for game 2. But I don't know. This series is gonna be nuts. I can't wait to watch it, but I'm also like kind of dreading
Your team's so
watching.
good.
It's gonna be. I think I'm gonna be up here watching it. I'm not gonna be allowed downstairs.
You have to go to like a basement somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going
Oh,
upstairs.
man.
She's staying downstairs.
There's a meme already from South Park of I forget who it is. It was Detroit and Columbus they were playing, and it's Ovechkin trucking Caulfield, and it's like this monster guy versus someone small on this yes. Very good. Yeah, I mean,
What
look,
were the
previous.
in all of our picks? Was it even for Florida Tampa, or did majority people
Yeah, it
pick?
was
Was it 4-4?
pretty even. Yeah, 4-4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, that's what I don't know. A lot of people are picking Tampa. There was like I forget. I saw some. I think the Athletic or something had like 24 different writers, and they all picked their things, and like 80-something% of them picked
Yeah,
Tampa over
Tampa.
Florida.
Yeah,
But everything
they're a
that like
favorite.
Vasi's playing really well. If he can continue playing the way he is, if Tampa's power play, like if they can win like the special teams battle, because both of these teams, I was looking at their Tampa's power play and their penalty kill are like top 5 and 6. But both these teams, I think Florida is the second highest shorthanded scoring team. I think the Rangers were number 1 actually, shorthanded goals.
Yeah, they were good.
I think
That was the
Florida
only thing
was
they were
number
good at.
2, and Tampa was actually number 3. So it's like both these teams can score in the power play. Both these teams can make you pay, shorthanded. So it's like the special teams battle in this could be really huge. If any of these games
Yeah.
go to overtime, I'm going to be sick because Tampa is horrendous in overtime. They've lost 11 of their last 12 playoff overtime games. They cannot win in overtime.
Does Puyarvi have 2-game suspension?
Yeah, he got a
into
2-game
the
suspension,
playoffs,
so he ain't playing.
so it'll be the
Yeah.
first 2 games, right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
he'll be
so
back in game 3.
if they even
And then
play
I
him,
do,
he might not
yeah,
even play.
yeah, true. And I do kind of want to see still that Marchand Bennett Kachuk line when it does hit the ice. I think
Oh
that's
my
going to be
God.
fun.
They're going to be
They
annoying
have-
as hell. There's going to be so
Yeah,
many freaking penalties.
they're just
Marchand's going
face
to lick
washing.
somebody again. It's gonna
Yep.
be. There's going to be so
Good
many
old-
penalties,
Good old lick.
and I hope they
right.
play stupid and take stupid ass penalties, and then Tampa just
Well,
makes
that's
them
where
pay
Tampa will
on the
bury
power
him.
play.
Yeah, especially on the power
I
play.
hope so.
Yeah, they will. They'll make him bury.
I hope so.
All right.
Tomorrow night, 8:30, nice and late. And if it goes
It's
to
gonna be fun.
overtime, this game's going past midnight easily.
All right, my beer. 2.25. Horrible. Not good. This is a bad one.
Mine's pretty tasty. I think I already rated this one. I think I gave it a 4.0. I'll stick with that.
It's good.
That's very good.
All right, take her home, bud.
All right, I want to wish Chuck Norris a belated happy birthday. And I'm going to give you a Chuck Norris fact. When Chuck Norris was in middle school, his English teacher assigned him an essay, "What is courage?" He received an A+ for turning in a blank page with only his name on the top.